is Julio Adrian Longoria. Today we're February 14th, 2026. This assignment is for CPMT 2433 TY1 computer integration for Mr. Garcia, my professor. And I will try and go through these as quickly and as detailed as I can. So I'm going to show you how you can configure your server using Server Manager, Windows Admin Center, and configuration utilities. And I'll show you how each one is different and similar at the same time. So let's bring up Server Manager. Server Manager will show you this on your dashboard. Will show you all the servers you set up here. So building 1, for example, and as you can see, it marks here that there's 3 services that are not running, and most of these are due to the fact that they have a delayed start, so they're not going to start automatically, but they will eventually start. And sometimes refreshing dashboard will um, change the status of these services. So, however, let's go through the local server. As you can see, the properties for server 492. All your information is here, and any event logs are documented here. Any services that are running or stopped can be shown here. And if needed to, you could, for example, TCP IP NetBIOS helper. If needed to, I could, if stopped, I would be able to start services. I can stop, I can restart, I can pause, or resume. So in case, there's an issue with this specific service, maybe restarting can help resolve any issues, or stopping the service and starting it again. And you could always I forgot to mention, for events, you could always configure your event data, and you could show security levels of critical, error, warning, and informal, and go back as far back as you need to. So 24, 3 days, 7 days custom, and get events for multiple. So basically, if there's more than one critical or of the same issue, it will appear on this window here. Services. Warning or errors. No message found, but you'll be able to scan, do a perform scan to determine if there's any errors or warnings, and troubleshoot them if need be. Right here we can see the roles and features, and this applies to the same for all of these here. Building 1, all servers, local server. You could add, from here you could add roles, remove, add servers, create server group, or server manager properties. So from the browser, if we were to go to HTTPS, that will take you to, well, once you log in to Windows Admin Center, you get access to the server gateway here, which it will connect. And here you get your overview of what the configurations used for this system specifically. And you can configure security settings here. Settings, again, event variables, again, like the one I showed you before, this is the one I created. But if you want to create a new one, name it, add the value. Power configuration can be done through here. For this assignment, it was requested to set it to high performance, so it's set there. Diagnostic and feedback, set it to your liking. To gain access to the desktop remotely, you could make changes here. And at the moment, I currently have it to do not allow, but if I need to, I could just make the change and save. But I'm going to leave it as is. And if we click events here, you can view logs, the event logs for this system. If there's an error, you could click on it, and you could search for the error online using this code, or you could use applications such as ChatGPT to troubleshoot the error and find a solution. And you could configure files and file sharing here. Firewall, performance monitor. Right here you have access to your PowerShell. So just an example of how you could use PowerShell within Windows Admin Center. You can also view the processes that are currently running, and if need to, you could start and the process. And this is all done through the browser via Windows Admin Center. How to view the system settings and opening them up from the Windows Server 2019 OS. So this right here is giving you the basic information of your system. We could go to let's go to remote settings. This is just to show that like I showed you on the Windows Server, Server Manager and Windows Admin Center, you get to control here your remote settings. Device Manager shows you the devices that are being used for this machine. And for example, there's a driver for a certain part that's not functioning correctly. It would have an icon, like either an exclamation or an X, one of the two. To troubleshoot, you could either update the driver, you could uninstall, and then go up here and select scan for hardware changes, so that Windows can scan the computer and pick up the network adapter, reinstall it, and hopefully resolve any issues that may arise. So we have that, advanced system settings, performance, like this is where you could change or apply processor scheduling, and adjust virtual memory, change, you can do it from here. And startup and recovery. I don't think we did anything with this one, so I'll just cancel. Environment variables, you could add new ones here by clicking new, adding a name, adding the value. So those are 3 ways of configuring the server using Server Manager, Windows Admin Center, and using the configurations within the system itself. Next, I will show you PowerShell, and this is the custom icon we created uh, using the steps from the assignment, which we can customize to our liking by right-clicking and select properties and making changes here to whatever we want, whether it be screen text, background, pop-up text, or pop-up background. So changes can be done through there. However, one thing to note, loading this is different than loading PowerShell here as administrator. As you can see, loads of PowerShell, but without the configuration settings I set here, but functions the same way. Scripts, that's one thing. This would be considered a script. So this script is set to load PowerShell with the configuration settings I've set to it manually. And you would have to save, or if you're creating one, save as .ps1 and make sure that it's saved as that. So we close this. So let me show you aliases. So as you can see here, these are different ways that we could use commands. Either, for example, I like to use this one, the question mark, or you could use where object. So if I type in the question mark, it will bring that up. If I type in where object, again, it will bring up the same thing. That's just, and if you were to do it with other commands shown here, you could go with, this is another, this is another option. So instead of typing where object, we could just type in where. Again, brings us to the same prompt. So there's different ways of getting, of inputting commandlets to bring up prompts within PowerShell. So let's let me run some commands here real quick just to show. Okay, so let's say you want to get a list of drives on the system. Right here, it gives you the aliases in the file system here. Certificate, environment, function, registry, variables. And let's try get. So in this case, it's asking me to supply the value for the following parameter, which is class name. However, if I type in this command, so you see supply values for the following parameters, and it's asking the parameters for class. So here you would provide the class name, class here, and that's how you could work around using PowerShell. We could change directories from here, make directory, and see, you could set the path to the directory, but I'm just gonna stop here. So And one thing I forgot to mention about this is what would be considered as a batch script. And the good thing about batch scripts would be automated repetitive administrative tasks. So let's say if you want to update um, multiple computers within the same server network or work group, um, you can use scripts to make the process go faster instead of having to work with um, individual devices and going in and typing in the commands and updating what needs to be updated. So that's something. It's just something to keep in mind. With that said, I will end the video here. Um, and this has been. I hope I've gone over most of these as best as I could. Um, but that's just an overview of everything that I did within projects 2-1 through 2-9.